Boom. Okay.
Aloha kakahiaka e nā moku puni o ko Hawaii pai aina. Aloha o Hawaii o ke ali'i nui o ka meha e kahi. Aloha e Maui nui a Pi'ilani. Aloha e Oahu nui a Kuali'i. Aloha e Kaua'i o Mo'ikeha na ali'i o ko Hawaii pai aina. Welcome to this morning's edition of Hawaiian Kingdom Genocide Continues, 127 years of prolonged illegal occupation and Hawaiian Kingdom Genocide. Aloha. Now to the national crisis with the weather.
Aloha kākou. Welcome again to another episode of Darkside of Hawaiian Politics, Hawaiian Kingdom News, Saturday, April 4th, 2020. Your weather for Moko Keawe out in Honoka'a town, high 79, beautiful, low 64. Out down to N.O. Kapa'ole Plantation, it's a 78 high, 64 low. Out in Hilo One, it's 81 high and 69 low. Out in your Pahoa town, your highs seem to be 78, low 67. And out in Pahala town, with your highs 72, low 64. Out in Captain Cook, 76 high, 65 low. And in Kailua town, 83 high, blazing, and 73 low. Your Mauna Kea report, it was beautiful, no overcast. I know because of the COVID emergency, your AHA will not be conducted on the Mauna, so I guess you could go to, I think it's Joshua Lanakila Manguel. I think he's holding his AHAs every 12 o'clock. So if you guys have time for your AHA, go ahead and tune in. And for your surf report, out in Moko Keawe East, a small 1 to 3, where your north is a little bit larger, 6 to 9, and out in your west, 3 to 5, and south, 2 to 4. This is a message for you tourists out there. You guys are not welcome at the beaches or in the neighborhoods, so stay clear. And if you locals are out there exercising, enjoy yourself exercising days, but beware of your high surf advisories. Mahalo. Now up for the Mano'olelo for Saturday, April 4th, DJ Derbs, the Mano'olelo, getting into the week's episode.
Today's Mano'olelo is Luku. As you look in Pukewehewehe Olelo Hawaii online, it says massacre, slaughter, destruction, to massacre, to destroy, slaughter, lay waste, devastate, exterminate, ravage, mea luku vale. And when you click on Papakilo database and search the newspapers on September 9th, 1869, the article says, "O ka hiki ana mai, o ka mai ahu lau, pu'u he pela. He mea kaumaha, he mea veli, he mea mana'o, a he mai na ka ho'o kaumaha, e ho'o neo ana I ka lāhui kanaka. I haawi ia mai e ko akua e noho olu ana, ma ko lako aina olu, a me nā mauna uli, a I ho'o puni, ia kona mau kapa kaha kai, ina makani olu hui, a na lo ihi kona o ka hanu ana o ka lāhui kanaka. Hawaii I ka wā I hiki pine ole mai ai na malihini." During this time, the Ma'i Ahulau Pu'u He Pela arrived on our shores. And it was one of the saddest events. It was very dangerous, and it spread throughout the islands. So our quarantine was, e koa e noho olu ana, ma ko lako aina olu. Stay in your aina. Stay in your area. So quarantines and massacres through diseases is not something new that we had to deal with in the past. There's many, many instances. This is just one of them. And that is our word for our mana olelo is luku. But don't forget kako, our hala ali'i, our mana hala ali'i. So we have two ali'i this week that passed away in the past. One of them is Isaac Davis, or he was called Aikake. He was first companion to Kamehameha Ekahi that taught his armies how to use weapons, cannons, guns. And Elizabeth Kina'u Ka'ahumanu Elua passed away in 1839 on this day, April 4th. So, epule kako no nali'i. Epule kako, amene, amene, amene. Mahalo e nā ali'i o ko Hawaii pai aina. Now to the national crisis with our topics for this week.
Mahalo once again, DJ Derbs, in remembrance of our ali'is from past to present, and for throwing in the segment. Mahalo. Without further ado, this week for your April 4th, 2020 Smash or Pass Hawaiian Kingdom Darkside Politics, we have DJ Derbs. First up on the chopping block is the genocide still continues when the Waianae community had the announcement yesterday that the COVID-19 community that are locked up would be transferred out to Waianae. DJ Derbs.
So in the Hawaii News Now article, it states that state lawmaker Andrea Tupola said police would start transferring arrestees from around the island to that site if they tested positive for COVID-19. How many times have we been dumped on? How many times have we been used as this holding place for whatever's going on in the island, Tupola said. So just imagine now, the largest Hawaiian population in the world is in the Waianae, Nanakuli, Makaha area. And Oahu right now is the hotspot for COVID-19 in the islands. And in a closed, confined jail cell, they want to transport all of the positive COVID-19 prisoners from this article into the Waianae police station, where it's far from hospitals, far from emergency support. And just imagine what that would do to your community if there was a police station and they chose to transport all of the positive testing arrestees into your community. How would you feel, Kako? So for me, I just gotta give this decision a big smash, because not only the Hawaiian people in Waianae would eventually get the community spread, but also our law enforcement that has to work in the police station would be susceptible to getting the disease COVID-19 also. So I just got a smash on that decision for the transport of positive COVID-19 arrestees to be stationed all at the Waianae police station.
KP, Cornerstone, set them straight.
All right, first of all, we need to remember now, we are in an occupation. And under the rules of occupation, we, as the occupied population, is supposed to be protected under Article 4 of the Geneva Convention. With the occupying government, trying to remove positive C-19 people into Waianae is clearly a violation, and it's a clear violation, and it's against international law. By proposing to move these people onto Crown lands. Remember now, these are Crown lands. And what the occupying government wants to do is always try to eliminate our population. And this is another example of the occupying government putting infected people into the Hawaiian population. And we need to voice this concern with the occupying government and said, no, you cannot bring these people into Waianae.
Yes, KP, the cornerstone. It's really simple. The COVID-19 positive inmates that was going to be transferred over. That's what we have to do on the dark side of Hawaiian politics, is to show the maps. In a few bit, you guys are going to see the maps that we want to share with the Lahui to not only tell you guys, but show you guys that these properties, whether it's in Makaha or in our Waianae area, it's already mapped out as our Crown Hawaiian Kingdom lands. And in particular, there's a private property that's bordering where the jail is located. So first things first is to properly identify all of these land parcels, so when they can just grab all the sick and put them into our rural, fragile community of Native Hawaiians, we must call it out by its proper identity, because this is what we have to do to hold our people accountable to Puola. We support her on her endeavors. It took a lot. You could see Shimu Baruku. It took her a long time to respond, but these senators live out there, knew that these were going to come, but they did not step up to preserve their community. So Tupuola, mahalo, Kauko'ohu, na Ohana, who went out on the streets to stand 6 feet apart or so to make sure nothing comes to their come to their community. We mahalo you guys. We mahalo you guys at the way you guys did it. You guys were safe and you guys brought attention. So anytime you guys hear that these kind of things are coming into our neighborhood, go ahead and let us know so we can smash on the occupying government to continuing this genocide of sickness to our communities. Next up on the chopping block, we have the 17 homeless kauhales that appeared on a news station, a Star Advertiser, with 17 being placed on a DLNR lease, which I'm assuming it's on Crown lands, and we seek this kind of remedy. DJ Derbs, how do you see the 17 homeless people in the state's first kauhale being a positive for us too?
So amid this pandemic, the news article on Hawaii News Now says, in Waimanalo, though, one woman reversed the phrase. She decided to welcome those who had been turned away from other places. So I think this is a good idea to finally house our homeless. So to begin the rehabilitation process of whatever disease, mental illness that they are suffering from. And it's amazing how quickly, when under the threat of a global pandemic, these homes can go up in like no time. While 40,000 waitlisters are waiting on the Hawaiian Homelands waitlist, and so quickly, within a week or two, houseless can be housed in separate units on a Hawaiian Homelands lot back in Waimanalo, which is, I just gotta give the county this time a big pass and mahalo, you guys, Honolulu, for housing the houseless and keeping them safe and keeping us safe by keeping them safe and isolated, rather than walking the streets, going into the 7-Elevens, going into the stores. And I just gotta give this action by our government a pass to house the houseless. But we still have, I think it's 20,000 more homeless Hawaiians, or 40,000 homeless Hawaiians we still got a house.
So, Cornerstone, kauhale.
On the kauhale, I need to give the county, the occupying government, a pass, simply because they're actually taking people, the population, off of the street, and it's a basic human right to actually have them in conditions that you don't live out in the elements. So I encourage the occupying government to build more kauhales and to bring in the houseless people. At least they have some kind of shelter, and also provide them with other services that they need. So I give the occupying government a pass.
Well, Kako, always looking at the dark side of these politics. And, the deal in our land sits on approximately about 1 million or over of our crown and government lands. And out there in Pu'onua, Manalo was successfully, Bumpy, Kanahele guys, were successfully getting a deal in our lease.
Yes, they
for
got a
their
lease,
issues.
yes.
So you can see, Kako, on the dark side of Hawaiian politics is we are going to expose that everybody can get the same benefits as these malahinis are receiving. If you kind of give it for $1, this is when we demand the state to open up our public, or not public, but our crown lands and our government lands, and award our heirs, Hawaiian Kingdom heirs, a piece of aina that they can kauhale, where they can make mala and have access to vai.
Right.
Same thing like the 1859 Kuleana Act.
Yes.
All of these lands shall be subject to native tenant rights. And that's where we have to go with this. So with the state, we got to give a pass for the state sneakily continuing to give away our crown lands to anybody who wants to sign up with the DLNR. But our smashing must continue, that the occupying government must not only look at our malahinis and other people, but look exclusively to the beneficiaries of Ko'ava Ipai Aina, Hawaiian Kingdom heirs, and Hawaiian nationals. Because these people, these are our lands.
Yes.
And if you can do it for one, you can do it for all. There's many lands sitting aside for the use of our family members. So get your head right, state of Hawaii, and put our families back on the land. Next up on the chopping block, DJ Derbs, Hawaii military coronavirus cases causing havoc.
Rising coronavirus cases causing havoc with Hawaii military, says Hawaii News Now. The U.S. Army garrison, Hawaii, announced Friday that Defense Department guidance now prevents the release of coronavirus statistics at the local level. That information will only come from the Pentagon or at the service level. So in Hawaii, the Army had reported the highest number of coronavirus cases, which was 12 as of Thursday. And a Navy aircraft, the USS Theodore Roosevelt, now at Guam, with 5,000 service members aboard,
Crazy.
has named, because of its close quarters, we don't even know the numbers, and how fast it can spread, because we all have ohana, we all have family that's either in the military, that has been involved with the military, and who's fought wars on behalf of the United States military. So as far as this issue, please, military, save our ohanas that are in the military now. We want to know, we want to contact them because we're concerned, we fear for our ohana's lives, and it doesn't seem like the military is communicating with us to know about our family members that are in these National Guard, Army, Marines, Navy. We all have Hawaiians in there, and we want to feel safe, have the security that they are safe. So I gotta give the military a smash,
Yes.
for not addressing the spread of COVID-19 in the military quicker, similar to a lot of other governors and states around the country. But I just hope, and I give my family members a pass. I want you guys to stay safe in the military, wherever you're at, because I know you're all over the world right now. So that's all I have to say about
KP.
the rising.
Military official cases on the rise. Mana'o.
All right. So when it comes to any military, a lot of their so-called practices is going to be kept away from the general public, and with the C-19 on the rise, they will not release any numbers. They will keep it confidential, and it's really hard for ohana and friends who are in the military, because they're in close confined areas, and if one tested positive, well, the rest is going to, get it sooner or later. But the military need to safeguard everybody, every military member, and because if they don't, the military is just going to, the population is going to be quickly spread with C-19. So the military needs to take action, need to take steps to prevent any service member from becoming positive with C-19. And so with that, I need to give the military a smash, because if you look at situations like on the ship and also on the ground, you have a large number of military personnel getting infected with C-19.
Yes, KP. So the military, as the numbers were staggering, what DJ Derbs was sharing, hundreds, if not more. Remember the Norwegian and all those other ships that are out there. We don't have the real number, but I believe, right, DJ Derbs, a lot of people were contracted on those ships. So it's like a moving vessel of a virus. Everybody on that vessel should possibly isolate themselves, but you know how hard it is. So my urgency is just like what DJ Derbs said, is our family members serve in the military. So when we bring these news to you, it's in great urgency. It's not to criticize the issue at hand, but is to beg for our families to be safe, because of the negligence of the occupying government continues to put our families at risk. There's many social media things that are going out where military people are out there playing football, they're playing sports, all on the bases. Over 15 to 20 of them, just, doing social activities when people are supposed to be on quarantine, 14-day mandatory quarantine. So if that cannot happen with our National Guards and our military people who are supposed to serve and protect, well, I have to blame and smash on the generals and the people above them, the captains, the president, for not making this emergency proclamation an executive order, because that's what this should be, is an executive order.
Yes, and I just want to also add that, in confined areas, what they're not also mentioning is the submarines, because you have people in confined areas in submarines, but they didn't ever brought out any cases of C-19 within members in the various submarines.
Yes, so that is a smash coming from the crew. So next up is KP with our international South Pacific news updates for Saturday, April 4th, 2020. KP down in the South Pacific.
All right, so I'm going to cover C-19 from the various nation states in the South Pacific. And first up is Aotearoa. So there's a rise in C-19. As it stands now, today, they have 950 cases. Okay, so I'm going to give a rundown from every island nation state. Next up is American Samoa. They have 0. So that's really good for American Samoa. The Cook Islands, they have 0. So that's good. In Guam, they had actually almost double the cases in Guam. Now it stands at 84 cases of C-19. In Fiji, it's actually it still stands at the same number of 19 active C-19 cases. Okay, in the Hawaiian Kingdom, there's also a rise. As it stands today, we have 319 active cases in the Hawaiian Kingdom. Okay, next up is the Kingdom of Tonga. They have 0 cases. In Kiribati, they have 0 cases. Marshall Islands, 0 cases. Micronesia, 0 cases. Nauru, 0 cases. In New Caledonia, they have actually 17 cases today. In Niue, 0 cases. Northern Mariana, 0 cases. Palau, 0 cases. Papua New Guinea, they have 5 active cases. In the Solomon Islands, 0 cases. Samoa, 0 cases. Tahiti, they have 39 active cases.
So you see in the Hawaiian Kingdom, KP, it's moving pretty quick, huh, KP?
Yes, in a matter of 3 days.
What is the increase on that?
Oh, shucks. Probably like 80 new
increase
cases.
in 3 days.
Yes. And then in Tokelau, they have 0 cases. Tuvalu, 0 cases. And finally, Vanuatu, they have 0 cases.
Man, KP, the thing rises pretty quick in certain areas. Like Hawaiian Kingdom seems to be the most susceptible, the military coming in and coming out.
So the major concern that we have is that the airports are still open, so people can fly in to the Hawaiian Islands. So that's a major concern. Okay, and also you have the military coming in, you have private people on private jets coming in. So that's it's a major concern. All right. Moving on to the Pacific News. In the Solomon Islands and also in Vanuatu, there's a red alert because they're bracing for a severe tropical cyclone Harold. All right. And this is breaking right here. Breaking news is that 28 people are missing on this boat that actually attempted to cross from the major Solomon Island to another island in the middle of Cyclone Harold. So 28 people are missing off the boat, and the government is very saddened by this news because they gave the captain a warning not to travel with the boat, and he went anyway. So there are 28 people missing in the ocean. Okay, and finally in sports, in Aotearoa, the National Rugby League, they're going to actually pay their players for the next 6 months because they can't actually go into the stadium and have their playoffs. But it's really good that the league is stepping up, and they're going to pay all of their players for the next 6 months. So that's the Polynesian news.
KP, there's some crazy numbers how the thing drop around. DJ Derbs, a little reflection on those numbers. Was it quite astounding that in that 3 days that we increased to 80? It's crazy.
Astounding.
Well, Kako, if you guys have time, go ahead and check out Lieutenant Governor Dr. Green's page. A real doctor doing real data in real time. He posts daily of the graphic charts that are climbing, the recovery rate, and he does what he does as a doctor. So if you guys need a little bit more information, more clear data of the Hawaiian Kingdom and our population within Kova Ipai'aina, I suggest that you guys go check out Dr. Green's Facebook page daily, where he tracks and monitors all the COVID cases to recovery, just like Weather Station. So you guys go ahead and check him out. And thank you again, KP Cornerstone, for the South Pacific Hawaiian Kingdom stats update that you bring to us every Wednesday and Saturdays. Because of the numbers jumping and everything's fluctuating, we mahalo you for bringing as much as you can about our South Pacific cousins and brothers and with our Hawaiian Kingdom news. So mahalo, KP Cornerstone. So the last 3 up on our chopping block this week for April 4th, 2020 is the rim pack still on. But hold on, Kako. We just got breaking news that Ige has suspended. Yes, DJ Derbs?
Ige is requesting a delay for the international military drill because of the global COVID-19 virus pandemic. So it's interesting. That just happened yesterday, and we got the live feed today from West Hawaii Today News talking about that. And I think it's a good decision because
The pressure.
International militaries from around the world will be coming here in the thousands. So because the COVID-19 is still on the rise in the Hawaiian Kingdom, in Kohava Ipai'aina, we need to quarantine and isolate our islands just for the time being, Kako, so that we stop community spread in our islands, communities, and populations, because we have a lot of kupuna that I hold dear that I would not want to see this disease to claim. Yeah. So mahalo Ige for requesting to put a delay on this military international exercise called RIMPAC.
Well, Kako, we like to mahalo all the community, all the advocates for Malama Aina that is consistently. See, I don't think that was a fluke, that they knew we were going to talk about this today. Yeah, and then just so happens that this just came in right on time as time queued that it's been canceled. It's not being canceled because Ige wanted to be canceled. It's canceled because of you, Kako, that continue to put this Ige Fernandez show on notice. Harry Spicy Kimchi with these people allowing our parks to be open. Don't be fooled, Kako. It's because of you why our parks are closed. It's because of our families that went to the parks and closed it down. It's because people are advocating and showing the neglect for our Aina and for this COVID-19 pandemic. So, this one is for you, Lahui. I'm giving you guys the pass because it wasn't the Ige Fernandez show that allowed this to happen. It's because of your persistence, your consistency to bring forth these news to make sure the COVID doesn't get even into your community. Why not? It's because of you, Kako. And we mahalo you guys and keep up the due diligence so none of these things can get past us without you reporting and without you guys holding them accountable. KP, yo manao.
All right, so the hopefully they're going to cancel this exercise, because our main concern is that you're going to have thousands of troops around the world, doing their exercise. But the main concern is if they have passed. If they haven't passed, they're going to come on shore. And if a lot of these guys are actually positive for C19, now you're going to have a large spread. So my concern is that, even if they do have, the military exercise, they need to keep their military personnel on the ships. But it's really good news that Ige is trying to cancel, this military exercise, and hopefully a lot of our community members, be vocal and voice your concern, as you always. You guys always doing that, being vocal and, saying that, enough is enough. We need to stop tourism. We need to stop them from coming to our communities. We need to stop, bringing in positive C19 people into, places like Waianae. It's because of your actions. And we need to continue that actions. We need to take the initiative to stop this spread.
Moko Keawe shut down. And Ko Hawaii Pai Aina is not for sale, or do not come and stay home, all you visitors that want to come down to our kingdom. And next up on the chopping block is the TMT opponents appeal the project's bond, KP. Kelo Pisiora challenging the bond, saying that is supposed to have the full equal of the bonding, which TMT obviously doesn't have.
No, like with every large, construction, you have to have a bond. And why are they actually, saying that, you're exempt? So it's another case where the occupying government is to kind of like sidestep law to actually push through TMT, and we need to have people to step up and question their actions.
Yes.
So I give us a smash to the occupying government to continue to sidestep law. They need to follow the rule of law. They're always talking about the rule of law. Well, you need to follow the rule of law.
DJ Derbs, Project Bond.
Really, these large construction development projects, the community should have to vote and weigh in, because what always happens is there's not enough money, there's not enough support, there's not enough supplies, and guess who ends up paying for these large development projects like the rail, Kako? That is you, the taxpayer, that is you, the normal, everyday, hardworking person paying taxes. We always end up paying for these large construction projects that legislators push through, unbeknownst to the community, that there is no insurance, there is no financial backing to fulfill the development construction project. So therefore, if there is no funding that can be used to complete the project, there is no project. That's just how it should be. We shouldn't be relying on the hard-working tax money of the taxpayers in this archipelago to pay for finishing all of these projects when the normal taxpayer doesn't get the kickbacks like the government legislators do. So that's where we really need to have our investigation and really look deeply into the long history of what was known as pay to play in our government with development projects. So I just gotta give this a big smash and another attempt to force the taxpayers to pay the remaining balance of these development projects that don't have enough money.
Yes, Kako. So the appeals on the project bond is a simple. It should have been addressed. It should have been addressed previously with Ige's sister-in-law, Judge Ricky Miyamano, right? The sister-in-law. So she should have already known that the project bond to do any construction work in Kauai or pretty sure around the world, there has to be a substance plan where you guys have to fulfill this bond prior to engaging in these activities. But somehow, Crook Clownwell, which is he actually gets paid because he's on the board of a banking company, right? So he's a banker himself. I think the bond should be put on his name and his company. So these people can pay up the foot bill to all these corrupt things instead of giving it to our community and forcing our kupuna to pay high taxes when our roads is not even fixed and all of our other projects, our kupuna homes are not even up and running and our death list is at an all-time high. So once again, Kako, mahalo to the Keloa Pishoda and the Ohana, who continuously, vigorously challenge the process of the procedures that the state has continued to fail and show a lot of fraud. So there you guys have it. It's a simple smash coming from our Ohana to the state occupiers that the project bonds must be fulfilled prior to any investment or any project being started upon. And there you have it, Kako. That we cannot have. And our last on our chopping block for this week is Kamehameha schools and their continuously growing list of victims that are coming from school employees of highest regards. DJ Derbs, horrific story.
From 1886 to 2020, there needs to be a lot more investigation into the procurement, the creation of the school. Actually, in 1886 to 1887, the grand opening, through the illegal overthrow of 1893, and on to the boarding programs where many boarders have been taken advantage of by these doctors, these teachers, these administrators, and has caused psychological mental health issues with children, Kako, similar to the Indian boarding schools across America. Now we're only seeing the evidence right now of these victims coming out after they've left the school for 30, 40, 20 years, and only now they have the confidence to actually bring it up and make it public. So I think this is really just the beginning. But we really got to look at this guy, Charles Reed Bishop, yeah? He courted Bernice Poahi Bishop, and she was only a child herself. So when you look at the origin and the founder, Charles Reed Bishop, it kind of follows in line of what this pedophile was thinking, Charles Reed Bishop. So, Kako, we really got to look at the origin. We got to look at our history, and I expect a lot more victims coming out from the Kamehameha Schools boarding. And so I just got to give this a smash to not protecting our Hawaiian children in the largest brainwashing school ever created. The Kamehameha Schools by this white person, Charles Reed Bishop, Samuel Damien, Charles Montague Cook, Charles Hyde, and William Owen Smith, Kako.
KP. Yo mana'o on this tremendous crime that has been compiling, just like how DJ Derbs was saying.
Yes. Well, I just want to applaud the victims for actually coming out and voicing what happened to them, because they are truly the victims.
Yes.
But we need to they need to go to the legal process, and they need to get compensation, because a lot of them they suffered mentally, physically abuse. So I just like to say mahalo for you guys coming out, and you guys need to seek justice. Anybody who got abused, you need to seek justice. Don't be silent. So I just want to give a pass to the victims.
KP, DJ Derbs, this is our Na'ali'i Children's Trust. Yes, when you go to this school, they look at your genealogy. They go exclusively into your mokuauhau. Yes, DJ Derbs. And then you see these people doing what they do behind closed doors. To our ali'i, to our heirs, to all of our future kikis out there. That's why I'm not sending my kikis to Kamehameha School, DJ Derbs.
I never had my kikis take the test because, I'm afraid as a victim also.
I'm afraid
to send my children to a place that has a long, prolonged history of this abuse and brainwashing, of making you become someone who you're not.
Yes. Kako. This is a simple smash for Kamehameha Schools, for all the corporates who didn't look in the door when they heard yelps or screams. Those who didn't lend their ear out when they seen kids in tears. This is for all of you people who work in the facilities that have been around for generations. Who some of you guys are older than dinosaurs that continue to live there. But you guys have failed to protect our keikis and our Hawaiian Kingdom heirs. So smash it has to be. So there you guys have it. Thank you once again for joining us for your Darkside of Hawaiian Politics, Saturday, April 4th. And before we close out everything, we'd like to go over our last two, which I believe is very crucial and key to all the news that we bring, that we also bring light to a lot of great things that are organically growing within our communities. And so first up, before we wrap it up, it is our Makahana Kaike.
Mahalo nui, waianai, aloha aina out there, for showing us how Makahana Kaike can work immediately through communicating, mobilizing, and getting out there on the streets with your signs to get the message out. So that's the Makahana Kaike, Kako. We're not going to be here every day to show you guys what to do.
Yes.
But you guys are going to have to get out of your seats and make your signs, grow your plants, and get out there. And when you see an injustice, it's time to come out, speak out, and request for justice to be served, and inequality to be stopped, and discrimination to cease. And we just want to be peaceful, loving peoples with aloha here in Ko Hawaii Aina, Kako.
Cornerstone, Makahana Kaike, update for the series. I think tomorrow you guys are going back on tomorrow.
Oh yes.
Supplies.
Okay. Tomorrow we're gonna have continued the Ko Hawaii Aina Kino series. So we're gonna continue with the the aquaponics and hydroponics. So hopefully you guys watch the first episode last week, and we're going to get
your
into
supplies
more
ready.
into details. So get your supplies ready, and hopefully you guys going to watch tomorrow and participate. And I'd just like to add that, mahalo for everybody's continued effort to be vigilant when the government is actually taking the dark side.
Yes.
So you guys actually bringing it back to light, all this injustice. So keep up the good work.
And last but not least, makahana ka'ike for this week. It's like DJ Derb said. We'd like to make a shout out to all of the mahiai, the right foot out there in the kino that is working. N.O. Kapo'ole. There's many farmer markets that are going to be launched or have been launched that need exposures. That is the makahana ka'ike, is to reach out, to cross-post, to share all those wonderful fruits, vegetables, and la'au that are out there. That is the homework that has been out for the past month or half, yeah? DJ Derbs.
Yes.
Is to go out there and support your mahiai, your right foot, because the kino cannot move without the left foot and the right foot organizing the preparation of our resource management. So, makahana ka'ike, go out there, tag your farmers, your local farmers. We're not looking for those who have the hundreds of $1,000 quota that you're going to be seeing on these great big TV shows. We are looking for the dirty nails, the dirty boot, right legs, all of those people that are out there grinding. We want to help promote your food, your la'au. I know that these are trying times, but we must look at the majority of us who don't have the high quality and the high resourcefulness as many of these big companies that are in these islands. So thank you again for Makahana Kaike, DJ Derbs KP. And to wrap it up, as always, we like to give our rapid aloha out there to those who are working and continuously doing their things in Ko'ova Ipai Aina to improve the betterment of our future. KP, any alohas out there?
Yes, we'd like to mahalo our sponsor, Kanaka Kava. You can reach them actually on Instagram or on Facebook, and they also have the Kava stop in Hamakua right off the highway. So if you need any produce, you need any kava or any other medicinal medicines, you can actually contact them.
DJ Derbs.
So my rapid aloha gotta go out to the Food Basket Hawaii Islands Food Bank drive-through, food distributions, drive-through only, and please only go to one distribution per month so everyone can get food in East Hawaii, Keawa High School, first Tuesday at 10 a.m., Hilo Civic Center, second Wednesday 10 a.m., Pahoa Community Center, third Friday 10 a.m., Papa'aloa Gym, fourth Friday 10 a.m., Honoka'a, fourth Friday 12 p.m., Ka'u District Gym, 4th Tuesday, 10 a.m. Mountain View Elementary, last Wednesday, 10 a.m. Volcano Cooper Center, last Wednesday, 1 p.m. And in West Hawaii, in Kohala, Sacred Hearts Hawi, 3rd Monday, 10 a.m. Waimea Kokua Christian Missionaries Ministries, April 8th, May 6th, 10 a.m. Kona Old Airport, 3rd Friday, 10 a.m. Ocean View Community Center, 2nd Tuesday, 10 a.m. Na'alehu Hongwanji, first Monday, 10 a.m. Kako. And remember, just go to one per month because we need to share our food in this time of quarantine. It's very difficult, especially if you have children. So let's share with everybody. And mahalo, Food Basket. My 1000 rapid aloha goes to you this week.
There you go, DJ Derbs. Rapid aloha to our sponsor here, Hawaii. Go ahead, check out Hawaiian Kingdom. There's Instagram. This week we are in Kipohulu, Maui, so you can go ahead and check out your royal patents, your land boundaries, and go on from there. Always update every week, throughout the week, that we try to maintain every moku, every ahupua'a, and we remember the names as we speak it. And we like to mahalo Hawaiian Kingdom's tours. As soon as this COVID is shut down, we will be doing Hawaiian Kingdom tours. We'll be doing educational tours about Ko'awa'i Aina prior to colonization. So if you guys have ever had interest in Hawaiian Kingdom tours and history, we have the right Hawaiian Kingdom heirs to give you that history that the main media will not give you. So once again, mahalo to all of our sponsors, Aloha Swap Meet, Uncle Roscoe. Check them out. Everything is online. Support local. Look out for your farmers and KP.
And don't forget to check out Kanaka List on Instagram.
Kanaka List, we're Kanaka List, Hawaiian nationals, people who live in Ko'awa'i Aina can register. It's free. It's to get exposure out there. In these times, we know that an extra post, an extra like, an extra share could mean the world to a family living in the rural districts out in our forest areas. So once again, mahalo. Go check out Kanaka List. You're a Kanaka entrepreneur. If you got education, if you got clothing, if you got food, baking, things to sell, planning, cuttings, services, this is your trade barter spot. So go ahead, check them out. Check out all your farmers market and conduct your business. Thank you again, everybody. DJ Derbs, KP, Ku, Aloha Aina. To the next time, Wednesday emergency proclamation. Mahalo.
Aloha.
Stay safe in the kingdom.